And welcome to Tales from the Tips. I'm DA, joined today by Georgia Section PGA Professional Chris Fortney and a content creator, a social media influencer, and an avid golfer, Mr. Joe Davis. Gentlemen, what do you think about our view?
The parking lot is stunning. I love the performance buses in the background. The people coming in on the left. Yeah, it's great.
Not a bad way to look at a Sunday.
It's it's not a bad way to look at a Sunday. We got the performance trailers; they're already getting packed up. We've got some light applause up on number one. We are here at the Mitsubishi Electric Classic, presented by Venture. We are on the front porch of the main clubhouse, guys. We're gonna have some fun today. We're gonna get out on the golf course. Joe did some amazing social media yesterday. We'll get in a little bit into that. But we're gonna talk modified Stableford scoring. I see all the people just jumping around out there on how exciting that is. Right. I'm gonna pick your brains. Be prepared for this. Strategy, mindset on the course, and what do each of you, the pro and the amateur, take away from watching guys like the champions out there? Because I think there's a lot of things that all of us can glean from coming out to these types of tournaments. Guys, like I always say, we're just a couple guys that love to talk about the game of golf, both inside and outside the ropes, but we come at it from a different perspective. So, gentlemen, if you're ready.
Yeah, we'll do age before beauty.
Age before beauty.
TA's first.
Let's grip it and rip it. Okay, here we go. I've got a bunch of comedians today. Who wants to take on the definition of a modified Stableford scoring system?
I mean, simplistically, it's a scoring system that rewards you for aggressive play. You know, you get points the more aggressive you are. If you're going to go for more eagles and force more things, at times that's, you know, point blank as simple as it comes. You know.
So more aggressive play.
More aggressive play gets you more points.
There's a lot of points that need to be gotten today. Zach Johnson has a pretty healthy lead as he gets ready to tee off here. He just, as a matter of fact, he's out on the course, probably on number 2 by this point. Him, Retief Goosen, and Rory Sabatini in the final group. Ben Crane, David Duval, and George McNeil right in front of him. Our guy, Stuart Sink, had a tough day yesterday out here on the golf course. As a matter of fact, Joe, you've got some great content of Stuart. You want to talk through that a little bit?
Yeah, he had a really interesting moment. I think it was maybe hole 5, if I'm not mistaken, 5 or 6, where he had hit his tee shot into a fairway bunker, and then his shot out of the fairway bunker landed short. And that's actually a new wall they've put in front of that green, and his ball was literally a foot in front of the wall. And what was fascinating watching him and his caddy go back and forth, trying to figure out, all right, do I want to try to do this flop shot, or do I want to try to chip it a little bit back? They ended up spending about 60 seconds deciding, okay, this is the lie where we want to do, and he ended up putting it away from the green into this little patch of grass, so then he could get up and down and save his bogey. And with the Stableford scoring method, if you have a bogey, it's only a -1,
right,
but a double bogey is -3. And so the difference between, you know, if you try to force it and you hit it off that wall, and it was a smart move in the end. It was pretty cool to watch all that happen.
Yeah, I was saying, I was watching that little video, and I loved how you had captioned it. Like, what a great way of saving a bogey, which a lot of us amateur golfers, and Chris, I'm going to have you speak to this a little bit. When you're dealing with and you're coaching some of your amateur golfers, taking bogey isn't a bad thing. And walking away from a hole after you've kind of made a mess out of it, and then in the scoring system, walk us through some of the things that you coach your, say, your clients through when you're talking about course strategy.
Well, along with course strategy, you're going to go with course management side of things too. And if you don't want to be the person that says, one time I hit a flop shot and it was within 6 inches of the hole. Now is not the time to try to replicate that and do it again. Take the safe play, get out of trouble, so to speak, and then be able to move on, and then go to the next shot, the next hole, and try to forget. Hey, take a positive out of it.
Yeah,
didn't have a double, didn't have a triple. I only lost 1 point. Well, in the grand scheme of things.
And to Joe's point, a double bogey there would have been -3. That really almost would have taken Stewart completely out of the tournament. Now, yes, he had a rough round yesterday. I think 3 bogeys with 4 birdies. So his point total really didn't help himself out. I'm sure he's probably trying to go a little bit lower today. And obviously, Eagles are worth -5. Albatross, -8.
+8.
Or +8, sorry. Thank you. That's the other thing. That's the other thing when you're coming out here. A lot of these fans, you're used to seeing negatives up on the board and red numbers. Here, positives and plus black numbers are the key. Today, going into this, Zach Johnson +28. His nearest competitor, Retief, was at +25. Rory Sabatini, Ben Crane, and George McNeil and David Duval all at +21. So roughly he had a 7-point lead. However, that can turn in a matter of 2 holes. And the way the course layout out here is, it is, and I agree with Stewart, it is completely designed to go and be aggressive versus just kind of laying off. Zach Johnson a year ago, if he was on the tour, on the Champions Tour, isn't being as risky as he's going to have to be today with a 3-stroke lead going into the final round. This course is very good for making casual birdies, mostly pars, get out of here, walk away with a 2-3-stroke victory, and you've got yourself your first Mitsubishi Electric Championship. Guys, what I'm going to ask you this now. Preparing for a stroke play tournament, now you're adding a different element of modified Stableford scoring. What is the mindset for each of you?
So if I was going into a tournament with this type of scoring, I would honestly do my very best to not do anything differently. Just speaking as 9-10 handicapper.
Yep.
The second that I start going after pins, that's when, I'm probably going to end up bogeying or worse, because I'm going to leave myself short-sighted and lots of bad things can happen. So I would probably just try to pretend I'm playing as normal, because I feel like if I'm in an amateur tournament playing with players in live flight, what's probably going to win it is how many pars you get, not how many birdies you get at the end of the day, or how many bogeys you can avoid, or worse. So that's how I would probably approach it. A little bit of going back to the scoring from today, I was actually looking at some numbers and comparing birdies, eagles, and bogeys from the Hogue Classic, I guess, or the Hogue tournament from a couple weeks back. This was fascinating. There was actually more eagles in that tournament, and there were more birdies in that tournament, and there was also more bogeys in this tournament.
Wow.
So, isn't that crazy?
So, it was funny because I was actually looking at that a little bit. I was looking at it now. I was comparing Mitsubishi last year to Mitsubishi this year, and looking to see the number of bogeys year over year are up.
Mm-hmm.
The number of birdies are down.
Mm.
So it's interesting to see it because you're looking at it from a standpoint of, are these guys being more aggressive? I think in some cases they're being more aggressive, and it's penalizing them versus helping them out.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, let me ask you this. From a professional standpoint, you've played in tournaments. You've also set up tournaments at your clubs. What are some of the things that you talk your whether it's your membership or your players through as they're getting prepared? And then also, have you ever been in a tournament where you and your caddy were in a situation where you're playing in a tournament like this, and you're trying to figure out, do I get more aggressive, or where am I at?
Right. Well, I'll agree with Joe on this one. if you go out, these guys are good enough. They're going to get their birdies. They're going to get their opportunities to get the points. But when do you pull a trigger to say, you know what, I'm going to get 10 more yards in order to set up a shorter iron or do something different? You talk people through course management and just staying in your lane, in your head. Yeah. Don't have everybody inside your head fighting over 30 seconds of you can really do this or you can try this or do this. Just play you. When I get out there, it's like, I know that I'm not going to hit this iron. I'm not going to cut it. I'm not going to be able to do it. So just do this instead.
Right.
You just got to stay within yourself. Your score is going to be there. If you do what you know what to do, you'll get it.
Well, and you and I just talked about this. We just were out at the Miracle for Mom golf outing on Friday. And one of the things that you and I talked about, even during a scramble, when you're in that situation where you're playing with a bunch of buddies, you guys pretty much know your games, collectively together. It's the, hey, let me get one out there, and then the three of you guys bomb away. That's normally not the normal game that you would be playing. So I guess my question then back for both of you is what, and I appreciate both of you saying, hey, listen, I want to peel back. How do you not want to press the gas pedal down and go after it, knowing that, hey, listen, I'm down 3. I need an eagle here versus I'm down 3. If I get a birdie here, I cut it. Chances are I might cut it to 2 unless you're watching the scoreboard and you know that player's behind you.
Well, there's going to come a point in time in that round where you're going to need to take the risk at some point.
Yeah.
It's just at what point do you feel comfortable in your own swing, in your own game, saying, now's the time. Hole 2 is not my time. Like, I'm going to wait a little bit longer in order, to do something. So
I think probably where it would affect me the most is probably on my putts, right? Sometimes when you're playing not to lose, you tend to putt a little more timid. And I would think that if I'm in a situation where, a birdie being worth 2 points and a bogey being worth only -1, then on my birdie putts, I'm going to make sure I give it a chance. And even if I end up missing the comebacker, it's only a -1 versus if I actually make it, I'll have a +2. So if over the course of all my birdie putts, over the course of 18 holes or, a tournament where you're playing 3 days worth, I have to imagine the data would support, get it past the hole, even if every once in a while you go a little bit too far.
Right.
Yep. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break. I've got a special guest that is going to join me. She is the Senior Tournament Director, Ashley Hamilton of the Mitsubishi Electric Classic. Her and I are going to talk through some things. Guys, while you guys are taking a quick break, what I want you to do is tell me what you guys are going to be watching today when we are out there. Who do you want to follow and who do you want to, and what are some of the takeaways that you've got out of it? And then the last question is, who on 18 tonight is holding the cup? So we'll be right back.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late-night bites.
Welcome back to Tales from the Tips. I am now joined by the Senior Tournament Director of the Mitsubishi Electric Classic presented by Venture, Miss Ashley Hamilton. Ashley, welcome to the podcast. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
How's it going out there today?
It is wonderful today. The weather's beautiful. The crowds are great. We could not be happier.
I was going to say, Mother Nature gave us a little sprinkle of rain, which we needed. But today is gorgeous out there.
Today is gorgeous.
Perfect temperatures. The guys are all out on the golf course at this point.
Yep. I was just on the tee for all the starting times.
Yep.
I sent them all out. They're out. We'll play 18 holes and then we'll crown a champion.
We will be crowning a champion. First, let me start here. How did you, now it's been 3 years, this is your 3rd or 4th season now running the tournament?
Running the tournament, I've been 4 years.
4 years, okay.
I've been here for 6. We moved here just in late 2019.
Okay. Previously, where were you at before joining the Mitsubishi?
Sure. I was in West Virginia. I ran the statewide chapter of the First Tee. And
Great
then before
program.
that, I was at the Greenbrier, both planning large-scale special events for the hotel and then serving on the tournament team as well.
Awesome.
The Greenbrier Classic was at the Greenbrier.
Yes, when we had the Greenbrier. Okay, and I didn't have this question in there. You keep hearing, and I know we're Champions Tour with this event, but you guys are connected with a lot of the things that the PGA Tour is doing. You hear Brian Rolap say scarcity. In your mind, what does that look like? And are we going to lose some of these smaller tournaments like the Greenbrier and some of these other ones, like right now the guys at the Zurich? Do you see those things going away?
On PGA Tour, that's on their side. Right now, we have a very solid schedule on PGA Tour Champions. So I think that's going to be something that we're all just going to work through over the next few years. We haven't had many conversations about it on our side.
Yeah.
We are kept, relatively separate.
Right.
So we don't hear a lot. We hear what's going on over there, but a lot of it doesn't affect us.
Yeah.
It's really only the guys, moving from
You've got a
PGA Tour to their rookie season with us.
great crop of young guys that have, I say young, I'm actually now older than the young guys coming in, so that's kind of weird to say that. But obviously you have one of the rookies, Zach Johnson, currently leading.
Yeah.
Ben Crane right there in the mix. Now I will say he's now become a staple out there. Your tournament host,
Yeah.
Stuart Sink. He had a tough day yesterday.
He did.
I think he got a little aggressive. We were going back and forth. He said, I hope I didn't use all my birdies up last Sunday. I said, I don't think you used them all up, but let's do the bogeys kind of.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question. Since you took over, you've made two massive impacts here for the tournament here locally with Community Impact. First was your Executive Women's Day, and then the second part is sustainability. Why were those two pieces so important for you when you took over? And then what do you see as you move forward for the next couple of years, especially with the extension of Northside Hospital's partnership with you guys?
Yeah, so we've had a lot of extensions. Mitsubishi Electric as our title sponsor, extended for 5 years. Our presenting sponsor, Venture Employer Solutions, has also matched that. And then Northside Hospital as well this year with a 5-year extension, for all of their different assets and touch points throughout the tournament footprint. So really with Executive Women's Day, that was something, it's not exclusive to our tournament. It's a initiative throughout the PGA Tour, and we had a smaller Executive Women's Day. We've hosted it here. We hosted over at Gas South District, and really it was just something that we felt that was a differentiator for us.
Yeah.
It was something that sponsors and partners could really lean into if they have, women professional development initiatives within their companies. While they may not want to sponsor the golf tournament, that's an avenue for them to get involved. So that was something we really leaned into. And then similar on the sustainability side, we're a traveling circus for the most part.
Right.
So what can we do to, reduce that footprint? And it's not only Mother Nature. Sustainability is, there's 3 different sides of it, whether it's the charity or, what we're doing for Mother Earth, but just all of the different impact that we can do. So that was something that from the ground up, we built a program. It was something important to our title sponsor, and we've gotten a lot of other partners that have really latched on to that, and we've been able to grow the program, and each year we do a little bit more.
Yeah.
Just grassroots, from the ground up.
And you shared a number at Media Day. What was that number from the sustainability from last year's tournament?
So one of the things we did last year was, and it was really important to me, was to recycle all of the wind screening and the mesh that you see that wraps the structures. And the turf that you see that on the floorboards of those structures. And, that was 9,100 pounds of things that were just going into landfills.
Yeah.
So we were able to find a partner. Luckily for us, they are in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And we bag it all up at the end of tournament. It gets ripped off the structures. We bag it all up. We send it to Atlanta. And it gets broken down into a formulation that is then used to make cement.
Yeah.
So we're full circle.
How cool.
Bringing that. And it's 91 pounds that's not going to a landfill.
Right.
So that's a lot. That's a big difference.
And with the podcast being a global podcast, businesses don't have to be local to Atlanta to partner with you for whether it's the sustainability or for the Executive Women's Day. They could join you. However, if I'm a business outside of the Atlanta metro area, how would I get into contact with you and your team so that I can be a part of Executive Women's Day or even help with the sustainability part?
Sure. All of our contact information is on our website, MitsubishiElectricClassic.com. Our team is fully there to support and really just listen and hear what those initiatives are on your side. And we can then, figure out how that looks for our tournament.
Yeah.
We're really flexible in that nature. And that's the other exciting part. And that's why it takes a full year to put one of these together, because we're not just selling what's on the piece of paper.
Sure.
We have the flexibility to be able to do all those different things.
So let me ask you this, and I know, yes, you get 1 week out of 52 to make a huge impact, and I talk all the time with Alex Urban over at the Tour Championship. I know you guys are good friends, and he even says it. He goes, "I have a very limited window. You have less than that. You only have 3 days."
Yeah.
How do you and your team look at it, and how do you guys approach the market, but also approach the community with, let's make the biggest impact that we can in the shortest period of time that we're allotted?
Sure. Well, we do have the full week. So starting on Monday, Monday's actually our biggest day. I mean, we have 200 plus women for ladies or for Executive Women's Day.
Yep.
And then we host a Monday Pro-Am. So Stuart St. hosts a Pro-Am for us on Monday. We had 72 guys out for that this year. So, Monday's a big day for us. All of our volunteers are starting to work throughout those days as well. Tuesday, we have FCA Game Day come out, so the kids get to come out and walk with some of the pros on the back nine. Wednesday, we have our Pro-Ams. Wednesday, Thursday, we have our Pro-Ams. Friday, we had GSGA out for an adaptive golf clinic.
Oh, sweet.
So they were up on the range from after the guys all went out. We got them up on the range, and then yesterday, GSGA was back again for the Junior Skills Challenge. Okay. Which those winners, then go to Tour Championship for the finals. So any period of time that we can fit in a group or an activity or whatever it may be, I mean, we're willing to work with that schedule and just make something happen. FCA's with us for 3-4 hours on that Tuesday. So, how can we impact a child's life in that small amount of window, in that small window of time?
And the work that you've done personally and professionally with First Tee, whether it's West Virginia, but now here in Atlanta, I mean, what a great group that they are. We have a chance to work with them with the radio station here, 92.9 The Game, but also with the podcast. I've had Janae and his team and those are the things that we know that we're growing the game just one at a time. And it's so important. And after COVID, I've got a couple of co-hosts today. One literally didn't pick up a club because of COVID. So it's fun to watch such a young group, even young adults coming into into it. And then they're raising kids up. And that's important. Okay. Big change this year for you guys.
Yes.
The modified Stableford scoring system.
Yes.
Now, I know in talking in Media Day, Stuart was the one that brought it to you guys. Mm-hmm. When you heard Stuart first lay it out to you, what was your initial thought?
It made complete sense. Our finishing hole is going to be exciting. I think it just in general over the weekend, we've seen how, you can run a scenario in your head, but 12 other scenarios can take place because you never know where things are going to land. So the leaderboard has been moving more than I think it traditionally has. And 18 sets up perfect for a finishing hole. Yeah. I think we'll see how the guys hit it today, but it could come down to the final hole.
I was going to say, is it going to come down to 18 today?
I don't know. I'm ready to walk in a playoff.
Yes, I think we would all be. 3-point lead is nothing like a 3-shot lead.
Correct.
And I think Stuart did a really nice job of during Media Day explaining right there on 18, like if you put a drive in a certain specific spot, which a lot of the guys do, especially a couple of these younger guys, it is a risk reward at that point.
Yeah.
So we'll be interested to see. The last before I let you get back out there because I know you're extremely busy. Folds of Honor.
Yes.
A partnership, Anheuser-Busch and their Folds of Honor program, the veterans. How important is it for you guys, and what does that what is that charity component look like for you guys?
Sure. So this year, I think we're on track to donate 17 scholarships back through what we're doing. So Dan Rooney spoke at one of our tour meetings 3-4 years ago, and I just really fell in love with his message. Met their team, and they really weren't ready to run yet, but they said, if you want to run, we'll run. Like, here we go. Cool. So that was in December, and our tournament's in April, and we had to figure out, A, if we're going to do it, we got to do it quick.
Yeah.
B, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And we had some partners jump on with us. So we had our first opening ceremonies that year, and this was our 3rd year doing it.
Fantastic.
So I think we'll be up to 50, if I'm doing math correctly, 50
right?
total scholarships.
Right.
I'm not gonna 3 years.
Yeah, I'm not gonna hold you to math on a Sunday of a tournament week.
Don't.
Yeah.
I think we were at 33, and if 33 and 17 is
50, yeah. Look at you.
We're right there.
There you go.
So it's exciting. But we had a great group that go off on the first tee with us on Friday.
Awesome.
And they presented some challenge coins to our sponsors, and it was wonderful. So always enjoy doing it. And again, it's just another way for sponsors, if that's something that they look to give towards. It's a way for them to get involved. Where if we went after them, for golf, maybe that's not their jam.
Right.
But folds of honor and giving back is a way to be involved.
Okay, my next question. I promised I'd get you out of here, but I do want to ask, what is the vision? What's Ashley's vision for the tournament in the next couple of years? What changes could fans be looking for? Obviously, we had the scoring this year, and we've got some great initiatives. What are some of the things that you have on your target list? Because all good executives have a target list of things that they want to accomplish. What's on your list?
We have a few things that we wanted to try and do this year. They didn't quite come to fruition. Just some fan experiences, some fan enhancements, whether it be different public viewing decks on a few of the different holes, and we'll see if that can pan out for next year. But
awesome.
Definitely it's fan focused and fan and family friendly. So
awesome.
That's where the vision is.
I've got 2 of my 3 out here today. We've got a good group that came out because it is such a great family fun event.
Yeah.
And obviously TPC Sugarloaf, what a great exercise to walk out here if you're walking.
A lot of the guys are riding this week.
I would imagine.
Sandwiched between 2 majors.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because the PGA of America moved their senior PGA up to the week before. The guys used to have the week off. Mm-hmm. Did that make an impact on the pairings, or I mean, I should say the field?
Yeah. We weren't sure. We weren't sure how it was going to go. Typically on our tour, we kind of play in what we call a 3 blocks, so 3 tournaments, and the guys get a week off. This year, we're sandwiched in a 4 block, and we're sandwiched between 2 majors.
Right.
So we weren't sure, but the field is strong. We have, 3 of the rookies. All 3 of the rookies are here. I'm excited to have them. So we only had one person WD after playing very well in the senior PGA Championship. So the field really didn't move much after that.
Well, good.
Completed. So we're happy with it. We were nervous.
Yeah.
We would be
nervous
if we didn't say we were.
I'm not saying anything against the tour guys, but your field's much stronger than what's going on down in New Orleans. I'm just saying, even though I did pick the Fitzpatricks to win.
The winds are stronger down there.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having us out here. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate the partnership. If you guys want, check out the website, Mitsubishi Electric Classic. Ashley and her team will take really good care of you guys. Plenty of hospitality, plenty of opportunities to partner with your business. We have our station here locally is, and our podcast is. So thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And welcome back to Tales from the Tips. I want to thank again Ashley Hamilton, Senior Executive Director of the Mitsubishi Electric Championship presented by Venture, for joining us. Fascinating insights there. I've got Chris. I've got Joe. We've got a tournament on our hands, ladies and gentlemen, as we are recording the final round of the Mitsubishi Electric Classic presented by Venture out here at TPC Sugarloaf in Duluth, Georgia. Gentlemen, do you want to fill us in on what's happening out on the golf course right now?
Some exciting things. Golf is happening. That's why we love this sport, right? Where anything can happen, especially on the final day. So going into this, Zach Johnson had a pretty hefty lead, but he has gone par birdie bogey, which, okay, not blowing up, he's okay. But right behind him is our local friend, Stuart Sink, who has gone birdie, par, birdie, birdie, eagle, birdie, to now tie at 29 points apiece. And so it's shaping up to be a pretty awesome day.
I'm telling you, it's the Tales from the Tips podcast magic formula. Join the podcast, you win a lot of tournaments, or you're really good at golf like Stuart is. Either one. Okay, guys, do you want to reset your thoughts on how you approach a final round, or are you guys sticking with what you guys said?
Just be aggressive.
Yeah, just go for it. Go for broke.
All right. So before Ashley joined us, I gave you guys I gave you a homework assignment. What are some of the things, okay, we're getting ready to go out there. What are some of the things that you're going to be both looking at, whether it's players, anyone in particular that you want to go check out? Obviously, I think we have to catch up with Stuart just to see what he's doing. But what do you take away? What appeals to you guys as you guys are standing there watching some of these guys play?
I'm big on approach shots at courses. I mean, you can get off the tee, you can put it in position, but I like to see what they're hitting in, what they're going to do when they get there.
For me, I love watching decisions around the green, especially here at Sugarloaf, where it's so easy to take on a pin, leave yourself short-sighted, maybe not even a bad position, but the green's running away from you, and the greens out here are absolute lightning. And so watching them figure out what to do, how to play this, I'm going to putt this, I'm going to chip it, I'm going to take it high, I'm going to take it low. That's always fascinating to me, and I love watching those decisions and seeing how they play out.
So, and I'm glad you brought that up, because one of the things that you are known for with your social media content is really you do course ratings. Mm-hmm. And so visually you have to stand on the tee and you evaluate and scope out the golf course right from jump, so to speak. Even if you look at some of your content, it starts with the practice facility, it starts with the clubhouse. What are some of the things that you're looking at, even from a course standpoint today? That is it pin positions? Is it placement? Is it, you mentioned earlier a new wall that's out there. What are some of the things that you're looking for as you go back out there today?
Yeah, so in general, going back kind of the course review conversation, basically what I'm trying to do is figure out, okay, depending on how much I paid,
right,
what's the full experience like? Is it the value I'm getting for the cost I'm spending? And so that's why I try to take everything into account, because I think anyone that golfs can agree, if you come to a course and you pay $60 and there's not a range versus I pay $60 and there is a range, I'm having a better experience if there's a range.
Sure.
So that goes into the larger equation. And then it's, well, what is that range like? What are the features of it? And talking about here at Sugarloaf, to me, this is one of, if not the best practice facilities in the larger Atlanta area. I know Athletic Club is up there as well, but you'd have this beautiful, massive bunker. You have this really cool pitching area, a couple different places where you can pitch and chip, and I just think it's beautiful up there. So I could live up there. But going back to the kind of course conversation, what I kind of look for, from tee to green at a course like a Sugarloaf, where obviously the expectations are extremely high, you're really trying to look for things that are a little bit different, a little bit extra special. We talk about the wall. That's an aesthetic thing that is interesting. It provides something different. You're not going to see it probably your typical public course, or really even your typical private course. You look at the tee boxes and just how beautiful they are, and what are the steps walking up to the tee boxes, and the grass and the flowers are adding the aesthetic touch to make it feel special. And then as you get up around the greens, those massive bunkers, and here in particular, I love highlighting the revetted bunkers, because I'm still pretty sure it's the only course in the Atlanta area that has the revetted bunkers with a packed on sod to kind of give it that layered look. And it's that signature, right? Because again, a course like this, you're looking for things that are that signature feel, that touch. I see a picture, I know that's TPC Sugarloaf.
Yep.
And I think all those things are what make it special in the end, and those are always the things I'm looking for when I'm coming out to a place like this.
All right. Give me 3 guys that you guys want to go out and see today.
I'm going to go see Zach Johnson. I'm going to see Big Easy swing a few, and I'm going to go see Stewart.
Joe?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say I don't want to watch Zach Johnson and Stuart Sink battle out. I mean, obviously, being ATL golf, so I got to be pulling for the local guy,
Right,
Stuart.
right.
I'm a bias towards him doing well. Outside of that, I like watching the Spanish players. I just think they have a style about them. So like watching Miguel Angel Jimenez, they have just this swagger, this they walk up to a ball. I just feel like there's something. I don't know. Something about the Spanish players has always seemed different. And
They have that fiery, energetic personality, persona.
Exactly. And sometimes that comes out the wrong way, as we saw at the Masters.
Yeah. I mean, Sergio. Check out episode 73. We have a lot of things to say about Sergio's behavior during the Masters. Okay, guys. Ultimately, it is a little after 2:00 here in Atlanta, Georgia. Who roughly at 6:00 this afternoon is holding the trophy up on the 18th green?
I like seeing momentum. I think momentum in golf is maybe underrated or maybe it's properly rated. Either way, I think it's something to always look for. And so and Stuart Sink has won the last, 2 events even. So he knows what it feels like to, finish down the stretch, to come into a third round and lock it down. So, with the momentum he's gotten early, I think he's going to ride that wave. Now, we've all had the rounds where the front 9 is special and the back 9, everything falls apart. Obviously, Stuart Sink isn't a 10 handicap like me, so maybe he can avoid that.
Right.
And finish strong. But I'm gonna, if I was betting, if we were in a betting state, I'd probably put some money on Sink.
Got it.
An hour ago, I would have said Zach Johnson.
Yep.
Hands down. Now it's, but again,
he just
Zach hasn't.
Again, Zach Johnson is now bogeyed. He's gone par, birdie, bogey, and is now at third.
So the next stretch, I was going to say, he hasn't hit that stretch of goodness yet. But I don't know. I think it'll be one of those two. I think he'll pull it together a little bit and make it close.
Who else is in the mix?
Goosen is actually first now, and he is at 30 points. He has gone bogey, birdie going into hole 5 now. So another one who's catching some early fire.
Yeah. I would be shunned from text messages from a certain gentleman. I am going also with the local guy. I am going with my friend Stuart Sink. But keep an eye on Ben Crane as well. I have a feeling Mr. Crane will make a run as well.
There's going to be some movement here.
So, gentlemen, let's go watch some golf. We're going to have some fun out there. We've got family. We got friends.
We got food.
We got food.
We got drinks.
We got drinks. We got everything.
We got beautiful weather.
And we got a performance truck backing up right in the middle of the podcast. So
that's how you know we're not faking this. This is not AI. This is not a fake set behind us. No green screen here. You can hear it right there.
He's Joe Davis, ATL Golfs. Give him a follow. Give him a like. Subscribe. Listen to his podcast. I am extremely excited to be collaborating with him. He's going to become a regular on the podcast, just like this guy right here, Chris Fortney, the official backup for 15-year tour caddy Mick Middlemo. Gentlemen, we're going to go have some fun. If you're catching us on YouTube, make sure you give us a like, hit that subscribe button, drop us a comment, let us know how we're doing. We love to hear from you. Let me know what you think of these two guys. You can catch Tales from the Tips wherever you find your favorite podcast. Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and now we are available on the iHeart podcast platform. Just search for Tales from the Tips under podcast, hit the plus button, subscribe, and enjoy. Gentlemen, you can find us on all the socials, Instagram, X, and Mick's favorite,
TikTok.
That's right. Mickey loves the TikTok. And, of course, you can watch this debacle always live as we do it on the Twitch. Thank all of our listeners and fans that follow us on Twitch, including Chris when he's not on the podcast. We always appreciate the support. Gentlemen, for your next rounds, make sure you keep them long and straight. your putt's short, and your score's low as we tee it up on Tales from the Tips. We'll see you next time.